Thank you very much to welcome you to MedZone African Motives. Today we are going to talk about Economic and Management Science, Grade 9, Term 3, under the topic which says Business Plan. So without wasting time, we are told here the success of a new business depends on how well it has been planned. So the planning is very important for you to achieve your goals or for you to realize your dreams and how much thought has gone into the venture. So now, without wasting time again, we are going to know what is a business plan. So as we are told that a business plan is a document that sets out all the details and arrangements for a new business venture. It is a structured guideline of what needs to be done to achieve business goals. So it is a roadmap for the entrepreneur. So as we are told that it's a structured plan, structured guideline, it simply says we are talking about clear step-by-step framework. Clear step-by-step framework. Meaning to say, or set of rules that provides what direction. So that is that. Also, it says this is a structured guideline of what needs to be done to achieve what? To achieve business goals. So it is a roadmap that means what? A direction for the entrepreneur. It gives an entrepreneur a direction, a clear direction. So now we are coming to what it says. A business plan is a description of the following. A business plan is a description of the following. So we are going to talk about what business plan describes. Then it talks about what you intend doing. So what you intend doing, it means, it simply says your main activities. We want to know your main activity. So now we can come up with the example there where we can say, I want to open a mobile car. That is your main activity. You want to open a mobile car. So it goes on and says how you intend doing it. Now we want to know the method and process of how you're going to do it. So that is where you're going to say, I will visit customers' homes and use eco-friendly cleaning products. That is how you're going to do it. The method and process of how you're going to do it. When you intend doing it, you're talking about now the timeline. You're talking about the timeline. So example that we can come up with there, you can say, I'll start the operations in September. I'll start operations in September after buying what? The equipment in August. Now you're giving us the timeline. So why you believe your idea is worthwhile and as well as profitable? Now we want the reasons for success now. So that is when now we can say, there is no other mobile car wash in my area. And people are too busy to go to a wash station. So that will give you what? A competitive advantage. Because people are too busy to go to a wash station. So it means they will opt for you. Because you're using what? A mobile car wash service. So that is what will make you to enjoy the profits. Now we are moving on to the importance of planning. Now we are moving on to the importance of planning. We want to know about the importance of planning. So we are told that the importance of planning, that is to identify what action needs to be taken to reach particular objective or goal, or to anticipate potential problems and identify ways around them, and to make easier to take quick action when opportunities present themselves. So we are saying to identify what action needs to be taken to reach what? Particular objective or goal. So you're going to identify actions to reach your goal. You're going to identify actions to reach your goal. Example, we can say, if your goal is to open a bakery, the actions that you're talking about, the actions that you're talking about is going to include finding a shop location. So this is whereby now it's going to include what? Finding what? A shop location. That will be the example that we're giving. Shop location. So those are the actions that are one of the actions that are going to be included. Or maybe buying what? The ovens. Maybe buying what? Ovens. Okay? We are talking about where you are trying to open what? The bakery. So one of the actions that we are going to include is to find a location. Where is this bakery going to be located? Now we're talking about the equipment that we are going to use when baking. So we're talking about buying what? The ovens. Also hiring what? A baker. So also hiring the baker. So that is that. Also, we are told that to anticipate potential problems and identify ways around them to make it easier to take action when opportunities present themselves. So when you anticipate, and that is wherever you anticipate problems and try to find out what solutions. Let's say if the electricity cuts, which is common, you might plan to buy a backup, whereby now your backup will be what? Will be a generator. A generator before you can open. That is why we are saying anticipate the problems. Anticipate the problems. So the problem here, we can talk about the electricity. If the electricity cut off, we can talk about the electricity as a problem. So you need to anticipate potential problems that are likely to happen. And then also you need to do what? Find solutions. If the electricity cuts off, what are you going to do? Your production is going to stop. No. You have to have what? A backup. So your backup now will be what? The generator. Your backup now will be the generator. So that is the importance of the planning. That is why planning is very important. You even anticipate potential problems, and that will help you to know before you can start how you solve the problem. So now let's move on without wasting time. Why you need a business plan? Why you need a business plan? It says it is a hard work to prepare a detailed business plan. So it is important to invest time in planning because putting a plan together will force you to arrange your thoughts in a logical order. Very important. So you're going to arrange your thoughts in order. Let's make an example so that we can make it more clear. Let's say instead of just saying, I want to start a clothing store, you write down step by step actions like sourcing clothes. Where are you going to, who are going to be your suppliers? How are you going to source the clothes? Setting price as well as the marketing strategies that you're going to come up. That's how you can arrange your thoughts in a logical order. Not just saying you want to start a clothing store, but you have to write down step by step. That is why we're talking about the logical order. Step by step, the actions like sourcing clothes, marketing strategies, the prices, how you're going to set your prices. Very important. Now prompt you to stimulate reality and anticipate the pitfalls before they occur. This is where now, with this point, you are going to spot problems before they happen. That's what it means. Example, you realize in your plan that you might need more staff during December. You see? So you start looking early. That's how you prompt. That is what this point where it says you prompt to stimulate reality and anticipate pitfalls before they occur. You know that in December it is busy. So it is very important that you spot the problems before they happen. Because you realize in your plan that you may need to have more staff in December as it is busy. So that's a practical example that can make you to understand more here. Let me move on. So it says once your business has started to trade, your completed business plan will become your working action plan guideline for what needs to be done on day-to-day basis to achieve your objectives. Now we are talking about what your a working action guide. Here we are talking about a working action guide. We are talking about the working action guide when you are saying like this. So it means we are talking about what is going to help you to know your daily and monthly task. That is why I'm saying it's a working action guide. What is going to help you to know your daily and as well as your monthly task? Example that we can come up with is that reminds you to post weekly social media advertisement, or also we can talk about restock the products every Friday. That is a working action guide. So it will always remind you that each and every Friday you are to restock. Now I'm moving on to another point where it says an essential decision-making tool. An essential decision-making, which is going to help you to make strategic decision. We are talking about a decision-making tool. Here we are talking about a decision-making tool. We are talking about a decision-making tool, whereby we can make an example. We say, let's say the sales drop. You see that your sales are dropping. So you can check the plan to see whether to run a promotion or expand your product range. So that is a decision-making tool that you're talking about, which is going to help you to come up with your strategic decisions. Where you realize that now your sales are dropping now. What are you going to do? Let me make use of promotions. Try to make sure that we call back the customers so that the customers are going to make what you call repeat purchases. They're going to come again. Thank you very much for listening. Let me move on to the reasons now. As now we are told that there are 2 reasons you need to have a business plan. There are 2 reasons you need to have what? A business plan. They are saying preparing a business plan can eliminate potential flaws in your idea. How so? They are saying some business ideas can look great in the beginning, but once they are examined more closely, the problems are clearly visible. So preparing a business plan helps you to identify potential problems. It helps you to identify potential problems which will prevent you from succeeding. That's one of the reasons you need to do what? A business plan. You are going to identify problems in time before you can even implement your plan. That is very important. So if these fatal flaws exist in your area, it is better to identify them before you invest your money and start the business. So that is how it is important of doing a business plan. Then the other point is that the business plan is an essential aid when applying for financial assistance. Most people who want to go into business for themselves, they need to borrow what money. So you need to borrow money from banks. Okay. So that's when you need a financial assistance. So there is no bank or investor that will lend you money without first seeing a detailed business plan that shows that the business is going to do, or its projected expenses and earnings and its plan for repay the loan. So it means you need to come up with a sound business plan. Here we are talking about where now you're going to come up with a sound business plan that is going to make sure that the banks, investors are not going to hesitate to invest in your business or to borrow you the money. So you need to come up with a sound business plan. Sound business plan. More detailed business plan. Very clear business plan that will attract even the investors to invest in. So that they know that their money will be repaid, so that they know that there will be a return on the investment. And the banks, they know that their money is going to be repaid back. Hope we are still on one page. Then I'm moving on. As I'm moving on, make sure that we are still getting what is going on. Now, we come to the elements of business plan. Now we are on elements of business plan. So when you are here on this point, it says elements of business plan. Cover page, content page, and content page. Design a smart looking professional cover page. So you design the one that is going to motivate the investor, banks as well, to go through your business plan. So come up with a design a smart looking professional. Your cover page must be very smart, so that to motivate them to go through your business plan. So that is why they say design a smart looking professional cover with the second page giving the contents of your business plan. So it means the first page or the second page, like they're saying, giving the contents of your business plan. This is whereby now they need to show basic details about your business. What is inside the document? What is inside what? The document. It is important that for your cover page and your whole business plan to show how serious you are about starting your business. So your cover page must have what? The name of the business. So you need to know the name of the business. That is what it says. Let's say, for example, the name of your business on the cover page is a Sweet Treats Bakery. Let's say it's Sweet Treats Bakery. Sweet Treats Bakery. That is the name of your business. So bakery so make sure that there is the owner's name. There is the owner's name. Let's say the owner's name now is going to be Mr. David. That is the owner's name. Mr. David. That is the owner's name. Also, we are told that there should be what the entrepreneur's address, like as it says, as well as telephone numbers. That's when you're talking about your contact details. You need to know your contact details. Now I want to know your contact details. Also, now we are told about what the logo or emblem of your business. Let's say as you are going to open what the Sweet Trees Bakery, your logo is you're going to make a logo of cupcake logo. Going to make a logo of cupcake, a cupcake logo. So that is what we are talked about. Now let's go to the second part, which is a description of the product or service. A description of product or service. So under a description of product and service, it says it includes the interesting introduction that describes your business. It includes the interesting introduction that describes your business. So we are now talking about introducing of your business. Here you're going to introduce your business. Like, what are you selling? Why it will succeed? What makes it unique? That is interesting introduction that you're going to give us. You're going to introduce your business. That's what we're saying. You're going to introduce your business. You're going to introduce your business. So it's very important that you introduce your business, like what you are going to sell, what you are going to sell. So it's very important that such information is going to be there. So now we are moving on to the second point. Where now it says, moving on to the second point now. So the second point is a description of the service or product that you plan to sell or make. So that is that. You are going to describe the service or product that you plan to sell or make. That is very important. Why you believe your venture is viable? What makes your venture unique or different from the existing business? That is whereby now, with these points, we can make an example whereby now, with the mobile car wash. Can make an example of mobile car wash service that uses eco-friendly waterless cleaning products. So that is going to be different from competitors who use what? A lot of water. So that is that. So you're going to describe the service of your product, which is whereby now you're going to say you're going to have what? A mobile car wash service that uses eco-friendly waterless cleaning. That is a service that you're going to provide. So also it's going to be unique because you're going to use eco-friendly waterless cleaning products. That is going to be different from those who are using a lot of water. Hope it makes sense to you. Now we are moving on to the goals of the business. We are moving on to the goals of the business, which includes a list of business goals. Identify exactly what you would like to achieve in the short, medium, long term. So we are talking about where you're going to make a list of what you aim to achieve. List of what you aim to achieve. When we're talking about the business goals, list of what you aim to achieve. List of what you aim to achieve. That is that, the goals. So we are going to have what? Identify exactly what you like to achieve in the short, medium, as well as long term. Let's talk about the short term as an example. With short term as an example, we can say you want to gain 100 regular customers in 1 year. That is your short term goal. You want 100 customers in 1 year. But with medium, let's say in 3 years, you want to open a secondary bakery branch. That will happen what? In 3 years. But for a long term, you can come up with an example where you can say, in 5 years, you want to franchise the business nationally. Hope we understand. So that is in that when you're talking about trying to list your goals and how you're going to achieve them in a short term, in a medium, as well as long term. So here it says, give details what you hope to achieve in the next 12 months, next 3 years, as well as next 5 years. That is what we have already talked about. That is what we already talked about when we're making those examples. So now we are moving on, where now it says these objectives should be realistic, specific, and measurable. Should be realistic as well as specific and measurable. So when we are saying they should be relevant, so make sure that they are relevant. Your goals are going to align your goal with your values and your needs. Make sure that you're going to align your goals with your needs as well as your values or with your priorities. That's when you're talking about realistic. But when you're talking about specific now, we are trying to say clearly define what you want to achieve. Clearly define what you want to achieve. For example, we can say you want to reduce customer complaints. You see, you are very much clear. So measurable now, we are saying you have to quantify your goal. Quantify your goal so progress can be tracked. So you quantify your goals. So how do you quantify your goals? That's when you can say now 20% reduction. We have said, be specific, you want to reduce customer complaints. So you want to reduce them by 20% reduction. You see, that is what we're saying. Your goals must be, you have to quantify your goals. So that is that. Now we are moving on. Now we are moving on to where it says a vision. So we were told that include a vision and mission statement for your business. So a vision is a clear and inspirational statement of what you are trying to create or achieve. That is what a vision. A vision. So we can make an example under a vision, where we can say to be the world's most innovative and sustainable technology company. That is a vision. Meaning, when we talk of vision, we are talking about future-oriented. We are talking about future-oriented. We are talking about future-oriented. That is that. But the mission statement outlines the core purpose of business and explains why the business exists. That's what the mission statements say. So with a mission statement, we can say that is, we want to empower people, business, through innovative technology solutions. That's the core purpose of our business. We want to empower people and business through innovative technology. That's what we stand for. So with mission statement, we are trying to be purpose-oriented. We are trying to be purpose-oriented. So that is that. Now we are moving on. Now we are moving on to details of who owes the business. Details of who owes the business. So here we are. So they said a business plan should include description or form of the business ownership. So we know we have various forms of business ownership. Either it can be partnership, sole trader, close corporation, private, public company. So we are saying a business plan should include the description of the form of business ownership that has been chosen for the business. That is very important. So it is helpful to explain why this particular form of ownership is most suitable for the business. So that's when we are talking about the benefits of a form of ownership that will be chosen. So the reason behind for choosing that type or form of ownership. So also it should include the names and credentials of all the owners of the business. So that is very important. Include their educational qualifications. We want to know their merits, their characteristics of these people, their work experience, and training courses attended. It will convince the reader that the owners of the business have skills and knowledge to make a success of their venture. So that will convince the reader. Where the reader will be the investor. Then you will know that people who are going to start or establish the business, they are very qualified. They are very competent when it comes to knowledge and skills of what they want to do. So that is very important. So now we are moving on to production plan. We are moving on to production plan. So we know the product is the heart of the business. You can't sell without product. You can't market without a product. The product is the heart of business. So now we're told a business plan should include a detailed description of your products or services. A business plan should include the details of your of your products. You need to know what you are going to sell. What are the features of your product? All those things. And how you plan to produce and provide them. If you intend manufacturing a product, you must explain the manufacturing process in detail and describe the machines that you're going to use. Manufacturing process. How your product is going to be produced. Also, you need to describe the machines, equipments that you're going to use, that you are intended to use. Such should be included in the production plan. Detailed description of your product. You give in depth about the information about your product. That is very important. Features, how you are going to do your production, equipments, machines that you're going to use. Very important that information should be provided. If you are starting a service business, describe in detail what you will have to do in order to offer service, what equipment, resources you need. Include description of your business location, the flow layout, how near or far you are from your business. Explain if you will be buying or renting the equipment and the property you need to run your business. Very important information that needs to be included in the production plan. Now we are moving on. To marketing or the management plan. Now we are under management plan. We are now under management plan. This gives outline the structure and the staffing needs. It gives the structure and the staffing needs. Meaning to say, now we are going to know how many employees you are going to employ. What are the rules that they are going to do? Very important. Let's say you're going to describe the business structure, number of staff, roles, their remuneration. That's we're talking about their payment, as well as their working policies. This all should be here in the management plan. That's what is needed in the management plan. Number of staff, roles they are going to play, the payments, as well as the working policies. Let's make an example. Well, you can say a clothing store with one manager, 2 sales assistants. That's their role. They're going to assist. 1 cashier, and all earning a set monthly salaries. And they are going to work from 9 to 6 p.m. with medical aid benefits. You see, this is the information that should be included in the management plan that I have just said. So that is why they are saying the following should be included in this section. Description of how many people you intend to employ. That's what they have talked about. 1 manager, 2 sales assistant, and stuff like that. Where and how are you intended recruiting them? Where and how are you going to recruit them? Are you going to recruit internally, externally? That is very important. Description of your management and staff, their qualifications, experiences, job description, remuneration, that is the payment, like I've already give summary of what is needed in this management plan. We need to know the description of your management and staff. That is very important. Description of your administration record keeping system also plays a very important part. Description of your staff policy regarding working hours. Like I've said, you will work from 9 to 6 p.m. Fringe benefits, overtime, sick leave, medical aid benefits also should be included in the management plan. It will be helpful to include organizational structure. An organizational structure is a diagram that shows the structure of an organization, relationship, relative ranks of employees, and their reporting. It's very important. Now we are moving on to marketing plan. We are moving on to marketing plan. Marketing plan, they are saying it is important that entrepreneur does what you call market research. Very important to do market research. You do market research because you are doing what you call prospecting. you are going to look out for new customers, while at least you are keeping the existing one. You are going to try to find out what are their needs, so that you are going to be able to respond to their needs. That is what it means. To see if there are people who are interested in buying your product, like I've said. So market research can answer the following questions for the entrepreneur. Who is willing to buy my product? Now we're talking about the target market. Now we're talking about the target market. What price are they willing to pay? Because when you talk of the market, a market is a market whereby there are people there, they have money, and they are willing to spend the money. Who's willing to buy my product? That's why I'm saying we are talking about the target market. We are talking about the target market. So for us to have a market, we need to know that there are people who are going to buy your product. They have money and they are willing to spend. Very important. What price are they willing to pay? It means do they have money? So what price are they willing to pay? Very important. Where is the best place to sell my product? How are they going to access my product? How are they going to access the products? Are they going to be easy for them to find your products, to get your products? What quantity will we be able to sell? So we need to know that will come from the demand now. So the demand of our products will now be able to tell us the quantity that we are going to sell, so that we won't find ourselves short of stock. Then customers are coming and then they don't have what they are asking, or we find ourselves in an excess stock that is not going to sell. So it's very important to know the quantity. So that is, we have to know the demand of our products. Very important. Now let's move on. That is a marketing plan. Now we are moving on. We are moving on to another point. Now with these points now, we are going to talk about, based on your market research, you have to decide on the marketing mix. So when you're talking about marketing mix, we are talking about 4 P's: product, place, promotion, as well as the price. So those are the 4 P's that we're talking about. So it says, give details about the need of your product and why customers are willing to purchase it. So now we are talking about what you give in detail about the need of your product. So you try by all means to come up with what? The product description. So you describe what? Your people now. Your product. This is a product description. You describe your product. What are the features of the product? How is it going to benefit the customer? The quality of your product is very important. So, and why customers are willing to purchase it. So we need to know why customers are willing to purchase it. So we can make an example here where we are saying product description can be eco-friendly reusable water bottles. Eco-friendly reusable water bottles. So why customers are willing to purchase eco-friendly reusable water bottles? It can be customers are increasingly concerned about plastic waste and its impact on the environment. That will be the reason why they want to buy the reusable bottles. It's because they are concerned about the plastic waste and the impact of those waste on the environment. That will be the reason. Now we are moving on. Give a description of which people now. you intend selling your product or service to. Now we want to know the details of your target market. So meaning here, when we're talking about this, we are talking about what? Target market. We are talking about target market. So you give description of the target market. So description is that these people are health conscious. They are environmentally aware consumers and fitness. So you're going to describe your target market here. That those people are the age between 25 to 45 who are willing to pay a premium for eco-friendly products. That is the those people are concerned about their health. They are concerned about their health. This target market, they are concerned about their health. So that is that. Now we move to give details about the prices you intend to charge, indicating how you have arrived to the decision to charge these prices. So with this price, this is where we're going to say, let's say price is 250 per, let's say per unit. That's how you're going to charge it, 250 per unit. Pricing decision. How did you arrive to that decision? So you arrive at this price by considering production cost. So you price because you are going to consider what the production cost. Also, you analyze the competitor analysis. That is why you end up coming with a 250 price. Also, give details about your promotion strategies. That is the advertising you plan to use to convince your customers to buy the product or service. So now we're talking about the promotion strategy. Maybe we can use what the social media campaigns, whereby now you're going to target what health and fitness emphasized. So this is whereby now you're going to target those people who are very much concerned about their health. So you can do that through social media campaigns. Give a description of the place where you intend to sell your goods. Distribution now, when you're talking about the place. Distribution, where now you're going to say you're going to use online store. That is the e-commerce website. And also partner with eco-friendly retailers. So that is that. Now we are moving on to competition now. We are moving on to competition, which is also very important when doing a business. So now with competition now, we are told that a business plan should include description of your competitors, their products, and include details about the competitors' marketing strategy. So you need to know those. Potential effect on your business. Describe your competitive edge. That is your competitive advantage. What is it that you intend to do to attract customers from your competition? Here we are talking about competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. Your competitive advantage. Now, talking about competitive advantage. How are you going to differentiate yourself from your competitors? So for us to do that, we have to do what you call SWOT analysis. We have to do what you call SWOT analysis. The entrepreneur can use SWOT analysis to identify and understand strengths and weaknesses of his business, as well as the opportunities and threats facing the businesses. So the SWOT analysis is about the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Then we are told that threats are those aspects of the internal environment that make business strong and be able to succeed. That is true. So we can now make an example of the strength that you can come up with. Let's say a strong brand reputation. That is your strength. Strong brand reputation. So that is your strength. Where we are saying a popular restaurant chain has a strong brand reputation for serving high quality and delicious food. You see, that is that. So this strength can attract repeat customers. This strength that you have can make your customers to come again. Strong brand reputation because of highly quality and delicious foods that you're serving your customers. Hope I make sense to you. Now we are moving on. So now we are moving on to the weakness, which is also internal, which is found internally. So weakness are those aspects that of the internal environment that slow down the progress of the business and keep it from being successful. You see now. So we can make an example where we are saying we can make a limited product diversification as our example. We can say a manufacturer has a limited product diversification, relying heavily on only single product line. So if you have a limited product diversification, it means you're going to rely only on a single product line. So that can be your weakness. So because now the customers will switch to your competitors, they cannot be able to shop under one roof because you are only relying only on a single product line. Now we come to opportunities are found in the external environment. Entrepreneurs should take advantage of circumstances in order to become successful. Those are opportunities. As an example, a food delivery service sees an increasing demand for online ordering and delivery. So that is opportunity whereby now you see what an online ordering, increasing demand for online ordering. So you go for online ordering because you see that there is an increase in demand for online ordering. So that will be the opportunity that you have to grab it with both hands. Threats are found in an external environment. They are found in external environments. They are found in external environment. Threats are dangerous that may affect the business concept or enterprise negatively. Threats are difficult to control but should be identified so that employers can minimize or avoid their threats. Example, we can say a food company faces intense competition from new entrants. So that can be what? A threat. So you need to know how are you going to manage that, try to beat the competition and try to be different from your competitors. So now we are moving on to financial plan. We are moving on to financial plan. So with financial plan, like we are told here, poor financial planning is one of the most common reasons why business fail. So inadequate financial planning will lead to cash flow problems, which have the potential to kill any new business. That is very important. So what is a financial plan? A financial plan is a detailed document that is a comprehensive, in-depth document that sets out what will cost to set up a new business venture and what income will be earned. So that is very important to have that in-depth document that is going to give us the information about what it will cost to set up a new business and what income will be earned. Now let's come to the startup cost. The startup cost, they're saying it is important to provide accurate information about what it will cost to start your business, to start the business. We can say that startup cost is the money to begin. Okay. That is a startup cost. Money to begin, to start your business. That is a money to begin. That is the money to start your business. So, or you can say, let's say, for example, you're going to start baking. So you're going to do what? You're going to start with 50,000 for baking equipment. So meaning, if you're starting a baking business, so then you're going to start your with 50,000 for you to buy a baking equipment. So that is that. So they said you need You need to provide details of how much money you need to start or run the business and description of how the money will be used. Like I've said that you will need 50,000 to buy what? The baking equipment. That is how the money will be used. That's what this statement means when it says how much money you need to start, run the business, and description of how the money will be used. So you need 50,000 to buy the baking equipment. Hope it makes sense to you. You should also indicate where you plan to get this money from, as well as details about how much your money you are investing in the business. You should also indicate where you plan to get this money. From banks, from friends, stuff like that. Now we come to fixed variable cost. Fixed variable cost. So the fixed variable cost, fixed and variable cost. So now let's start by fixed cost. They are saying those are costs that are the same, regardless of how many units you sell. Examples: rent, salary, depreciation, or insurance. So it means regardless of how many units you produce, the rent will stay the same. So if you are to pay 5,000 monthly, is whether you've produced 10,000, it will remain the same. But variable costs are those costs that increase with each unit produced. Example, if you bake pies, the electricity cost will increase as the number of pies increases. I think that example is clear. We can even make an example, another example where we change with production. Example, more flour needed as more bread is baked. So the more you bake the bread, it means the more flour will be needed. Hope it makes sense. Break-even point now. It is an indication of how many units you have to sell in order to cover your expenses. How many units you need to sell so that you can cover your costs, your expenses. You want to reach to which level that you can say, now you'll be managed to go and buy stock or buy the equipment that are going to be used in the production. So in order to reach the break-even point, you need to sell enough units for the product to cover variable cost and all the fixed costs. So that is a break-even point. Now we come to the financial statement. So with financial statement, like they're talking about income statement, they're talking about cash flow, now they're talking about balance sheet. So those are the financial statement. A detailed cash flow for a projected period of 12 months. So you come up with a projected cash flow, those forecasts that you're going to come, so that you can come up with a good plan. So how much money that is going to be in, how much you're going to spend. So payments and receive, how much you're going to receive, how much you are going to take out, you're going to pay. So you're going to do them in a projected way. So that is that. This means a monthly indication or budget of projected flow of cash into and out of your business. That is what I was trying to say. Also, a detailed balance sheet for a projected period of 12 months. This means that a list of all your business assets and liabilities at a specific point in time. That will help you to come up with a very good plan. So you need to come up with projections, the estimation, good estimations. Now we come to the conclusion of a business plan. Conclusion of the business plan. So when you come to the conclusion of the business plan, this is whereby now we are saying, make sure that you end with a positive, motivating statement. So we are saying, end with positive, motivating statement. Motivating statement about the business future. About the business future. That is that. So that is the conclusion that you're going to make. That is why they say here they said finish your business plan with a positive and motivational conclusion. So your conclusion should be a summary of the following: why you believe your business plan will succeed, why you believe finance should be granted. So that is that. So we can make an example wherever we can talk about a Sweet Treats Bakery will become the go destination for fresh, affordable, delicious treats in the community. That's how we can end with a positive, motivating statement about the business for future. That is the end. Thank you very much for your time. Make sure that you are going to share with those who are concerned, and make sure that you are going to hit the subscription button. Thank you very much.